Moving over to the wideout position, you say fire up Christian Kirk and Chris Olave, the rookie, this weekend.
Kirk had a bad week, and just like James Robinson, it's fine. You're not going to put up a monster stat line every single week. I like Christian Kirk to bounce back this week against the Texans. They've given up big games to Michael Pittman Jr., Mike Williams, Courtland Sutton. Their defense is not terrible, but they can be had by good wide receivers, and Christian Kirk is a very good one. And then Olave, you just mentioned it. This kid has seen 33 targets and scored 50.4 fantasy points over his last 3 games. Whether Michael Thomas is out again or not does not matter to me. I love the matchup against Seattle. They just gave up over 20 points to Josh Reynolds of all wide receivers. So Chris Olave is in that wide receiver 2 flex mix.
There's a new quarterback in Pittsburgh, but they're facing the Buffalo Bills. So how do you see this shaking out, and what should we do with those Pittsburgh wide receivers?
Diontae Johnson has scared me all season long with Mitch Trubisky under center. Now, is it good that he's got Pickett now as the quarterback? I think it could be. But one thing that I saw last week that I didn't like is that when Pickett played, he was targeting George Pickens a bunch. And Diontae Johnson ended up with 4.2 fantasy points. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case week in and week out, and DJ will still see his targets. But he's also got a pretty bad matchup against the Bills this week. They've allowed just 2 wide receivers to score more than 9.1 fantasy points against them, and one of them was Cooper Kupp, who smokes everybody. So I would say, Jen, beware Diontae Johnson this week. He's not a firm sit-em, and neither is DJ Moore, but another guy that I would beware, right? Last week, he had 12.1 fantasy points. Okay, that's not terrible, but it's not great. We thought better things were ahead with Baker Mayfield under center, but they haven't been. And now you've got the Niners. Their defense has allowed 2 touchdowns and an average of fewer than 18 fantasy points per game to receivers lined out wide. DJ Moore is a risk.